What's the best Android phone? It's a question we ask and try to answer every few months, and this past generation of phones has made it really hard to pick an outright winner. There's an abundance of great options at just about every size category and price point. When you whittle it down to the very highest of the high end, the best looking, the best performing, the comparison that keeps coming up is the Pixel 2 XL and the Galaxy Note 8. So that's what I'm taking a stab at today. We'll break down why both are great and ultimately figure out which one I'd pick given the choice. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss everything Android related coming in 2018, and we'll get started. First of all, these are two big phones. We're comfortably into phablet territory with both the Note 8 and the Pixel 2 XL. Fortunately, if you don't like big phones, there are miniature versions available in the form of the Galaxy S8 and the regular Pixel 2, both of which offer mostly the same experience in a smaller chassis. Anyway, with large 6+ inch screens, there's a considerable footprint to both. Both are a little awkward to one hand, and the Note in particular has a taller aspect ratio, while also being a bit more top-heavy. It's a little easier to one-hand your way around the Pixel screen, but Samsung does give you the option of this helpful one-handed mode as well. The more pronounced curve to the sides, however, does mean that there's a smaller grippable surface on the sides of the Note. Both phones look sharp and feel great. In terms of build quality, it comes down to personal taste. The all-glass body of the Note might prove a bit more fragile, but in terms of day-to-day wear, I've actually picked up more scratches on the back of the Pixel's relatively small glass panel around the back. So both phones have big screens, but when it comes to display quality there's really no comparison. Even aside from the well-documented issues with the XL's P-OLED panel, like shadow crushing and blue tint, Samsung wins by a country mile. Its screen is brighter, more vibrant, and just less problematic than the LG panel in the Pixel. Audio is less clear-cut though. With the Pixel you get a pair of powerful stereo speakers but no headphone jack. On the Note, the 3.5mm port is left intact, but you do have to make do with a relatively ho-hum bottom-firing speaker. Other core specs are very similar. Both phones run a Snapdragon 835 processor in the US, the global Note 8 uses Samsung's own Exynos chip, with a slight advantage of RAM for the Note and a slight edge in battery life for the Pixel. The difference isn't huge. The Note 8's 3300 mAh cell is good for about a day, with around 4 hours of screen on time, while I've been getting comfortably over a day on Google's phone, maybe with 4.5 to 5 hours of screen on time. Neither is really a 2-day phone, but the Pixel does seem to stand up better to intensive use. Of course, over on the Samsung side, you do get wireless charging for more convenient top-ups throughout the day. When it comes to software and features, these two phones are worlds apart in terms of their design, priorities, capabilities, and prospects for future support. With the Pixel 2 XL, Google brings what is, in my opinion, the very best Android UI out there. Clean, fast, and beautiful, with differentiating features where it matters. Handy additions like Google Lens can help you explore your surroundings and easily search visually, and the Now Playing feature proactively tells you about music playing in the background without needing to use a data connection. While there's plenty the Pixel can do, the feature set is far from the clutter that you often see in Samsung phones like the Note 8. The Samsung experience has come a long way in recent years, and I really like the new sci-fi aesthetic that its phones have moved towards, but there's still a lot of clutter here as well. So if you can imagine it happening on a smartphone, then chances are it's a feature on the Galaxy Note 8. Samsung was among the first to bring multi-window to Android, and its multi-window implementation is still one of the best. Though for the moment you'll miss out on the picture-in-picture mode from Android Oreo. And for art, note-taking, productivity, or anything else in between, Samsung's trademark S Pen gives you about the only smartphone stylus experience worth talking about. Personally, I don't particularly miss the S Pen when I move to another phone, instead it's just one of those nice-to-have extras. Check out our S Pen feature video for more on what the pen can do on the Note 8. These two phones couldn't be further apart in terms of their approach to personal assistance. Both ship with Google Assistant of course, but on the Pixel you get the option of squeezing the sides to quickly activate it. You can also get Google Lens from within Photos and Assistant, letting you quickly pick out information, landmarks, connect to a Wi-Fi network, whatever. As for software support, well, right now the Note 8 is sitting on the year-old Android 7.1.1, whereas the Pixel 2 XL is guaranteed to be at the front of the line for Android upgrades for an impressive 3 years from launch. That means you're almost certainly going to get more mileage out of Google's phone in the long term. Samsung's Bixby Assistant is much more of a slow burn, and almost a year after launch Bixby is still quite limited and it's still early days. Turning off the Bixby button is still something I inevitably do within days of setting up a new Samsung phone, which is a shame because there's potential there, particularly with Bixby Voice. For the really powerful stuff, you have to wrap your head around the way Bixby wants things to be phrased. Navigation is app-based, so you first got to tell it to open the app and then give it instructions. The other areas of Bixby are barely worth mentioning. Bixby Vision pales in comparison to Google Lens, and Bixby Home is a laggy waste of space. That's the difference when you don't have Google's vast reserves of data to draw upon. And that brings me to one of the worst parts of using a current Samsung phone, the biometrics. The Pixel has its rear-facing fingerprint scanner in a place that actually makes sense, around the back where it's easy to reach with your index finger, but the Note 8 has its sensor awkwardly off to the side where it's hard to reach and easy to smudge up the camera lenses while you're at it. There are a couple of fallback solutions on the Note. You can use iris scanning or face recognition. The latter has worked best for me and actually has improved quite a lot since launch, but it's still not as easy as using fingerprint in a place you can actually reach. So cameras, this is an area where it's really hard to pick an overall victor. Samsung's dual camera setup brings two optically stabilized sensors, allowing you to shoot impressive telephoto shots even in darker conditions. Live focus, Samsung's take on portrait mode, works well, saving both portrait and regular versions of pictures, and with the main camera you get the same great dependable image quality we first saw on the Galaxy S8. On the Pixel 2 XL, you trade those dual camera capabilities for excellent camera software. Google's HDR Plus uses computational photography to attain frankly magical results in conditions that would normally be beyond the capabilities of a smartphone camera. Low light and high contrast shots are where the Pixel shines, and on top of that, the Pixel's own portrait mode brings comparable results without the need for a second camera. There's also a front-facing portrait mode, that's something you don't get on the Samsung side. That said, you are stuck to digital zoom for any telephoto shots you might want to take on the Pixel. It's really hard to pick an overall winner out of these two, but I've got to pick one, and for my money the Google Pixel 2 XL is the best overall Android phone in early 2018. For me, it comes down to the few things that the Pixel offers that no phone, not even the Note, can match. A clean UI, the best features from Google, fast software updates, and 3 years of future support. The camera is also a huge part of the appeal of the Pixel to me. Google's HDR Plus features absolutely crush the competition, giving me stunning AI-enhanced photos, alongside fun features like portrait mode and AR stickers. The Pixel 2 XL has taken a lot of heat for its display, and while there are still issues there, the new saturated colour option has gone a long way in improving things. What's more, the rapid burn-in that I saw in my first unit hasn't taken effect as quickly in the replacement that Google sent me. Nobody's going to say that this is the best smartphone screen, but when the rest of the package is this good, it's easier to overlook this one shortcoming. Hit the comments and let us know which phone you pick of these two, and be sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next wave of great Android phones here on YouTube. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.